Right now, there is a website that looks like Amazon. Clean layout, seller ratings, customer reviews. But instead of selling electronics or books, it sells you. Your identity. For sale. Your name, your passwords, your credit card, your medical history. All of it sitting in a shopping cart somewhere, priced cheaper than your lunch. But the worst part isn't that your data got stolen. It's what happens to it after. Almost nobody talks about that part. Section 1. The moment it's taken. So you probably picture hacking as this single dramatic event. A breach happens, data gets taken, and the story ends there. That's not how it works. It doesn't end. That's actually where it begins. The moment your data is stolen, it enters a system built to squeeze every last cent of value out of your information. Your email, your passwords, your phone number, bank details, medical records, sometimes even scanned copies of your passport or driver's license. And here's where it gets uncomfortable. This system isn't some chaotic mess of random criminals. It's organized. It's layered. It runs like a supply chain. But to understand where your data actually ends up, you first need to understand who's taking it, because not all hackers are doing this for the same reason. And one type in particular is the reason your data ends up with a price tag on it. Section 2. Who's actually stealing your data? There are roughly 3 types: government hackers who target sensitive systems for intelligence. When they take data, it vanishes into classified networks that you and I will never see. Then there are activist groups who hack organizations to expose corruption or cause embarrassment. They usually dump everything publicly. But the type that hits everyday people? Criminal hackers. And these people don't care about politics or ideology. They care about profit. To them, your information is inventory, stock on a shelf. Something to package up, put a price on, and move. And where do they move it? That's the part that would genuinely surprise you. Because the place your data ends up looks nothing like what you'd expect. It doesn't look dangerous or chaotic. It looks disturbingly normal. Section 3. The underground marketplace. Once criminals steal a batch of data, it doesn't go straight to the public. First, it moves through private channels, encrypted group chats, invite-only forums, closed networks where trusted sellers trade with trusted buyers. Think of it like a wholesale distribution network. The big data sets get quietly passed around at the top before anything trickles down to the open market. And when it does hit the market, this is where people's jaws tend to drop. These marketplaces have product listings. They have seller ratings. They have customer feedback. Someone will literally leave a review saying the stolen credit card data they bought was high quality, would purchase again. Entire databases of user information get sold in bulk. The more sensitive your data, the higher the price. Financial records, medical history, corporate login credentials, those go for premium rates. But here's the question you should really be asking. How much is your identity actually worth in this system? The answer is kind of insulting. Section 4. The price tag on your life. A stolen credit card with a decent balance? Somewhere between $6 and $20. Full access to your email account? Maybe $10. Your complete identity profile, name, address, social security number, date of birth? Could go for as little as $30, and before you think, well, that's barely anything. That's exactly the point. The system doesn't rely on your one identity being worth a fortune. It relies on volume. Hackers deal in thousands, sometimes millions of records at a time. Small profits multiplied across that kind of scale create enormous returns. 1 million records at $10 each becomes $10 million. And nothing gets wasted. Even a basic email address and phone number combo has value. It can be used to build a profile, run targeted scams, or support bigger attacks down the line. But knowing what your data is worth is one thing. What people actually do with it after they buy it. That's where this gets seriously dark. Section 5. How your stolen data gets weaponized. The most common move is something called credential stuffing. Attackers take your stolen email and password combo and just try it everywhere. Your bank, your social media, your streaming accounts, your work email, because if you're anything like the average person, you reuse passwords. One breach can unlock 5, 10, sometimes 20 different accounts. Stop for a second. Think of the password you used for your first ever email. Are you still using a variation of it for your bank? If you are, you're already in the shopping cart. One password can open 20 different accounts. From there, they can impersonate you. Send messages to your contacts. Try to access your financial accounts. In worst cases, your identity gets used to open credit lines, apply for loans, or commit fraud that follows you around for years. And then there's ransomware. Sometimes attackers don't sell your data at all. Instead, they lock entire systems and hold them hostage until the organization pays up. Even when organizations pay, there's no guarantee the data won't still get leaked or sold anyway. So the data becomes not just information, it becomes a weapon, a tool for control. And the worst part? This cycle never actually stops. Section 6. Why this never ends plus outro. Despite all the awareness, the breach notifications, the two-factor authentication reminders, data theft keeps accelerating. New technologies create new vulnerabilities, systems get more complex, and people are getting numb to it. Breach notifications land in your inbox and you barely read them anymore. You just click OK and move on. Your data doesn't expire. It doesn't get deleted. And that's the real danger here. Once your data enters the system, it doesn't leave. It stays in circulation, available to anyone willing to pay for years. When something physical gets stolen, you see it's gone. But with data, it gets copied, multiplied, and passed around without leaving a trace. You go about your day completely unaware that somewhere out there, your information is being traded between people you'll never meet. And that is what makes it dangerous. Not the moment it's stolen, the fact that it never truly stops being used. What would you find if you searched for your data?